Hello everyone, Oregon Moto John. We're going to put these Rally Footpegs on here, and the stock ones on this Honda 300L are just okay, and these I know aren't as aggressive as some Footpegs, but they'll be adequate for what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and get started. The Footpegs I'm using here are a Honda Footpeg. They're Rally step kit. You can see the part number there. Pause it if you need to look at that. And then first, let's go ahead and just drive out this little cotter pin there. My skid plate might make this a little harder, but we'll go with it and see how it goes. We can remove the skid plate if we need to, but let's go ahead and just straighten that little cotter pin right in here first. And I usually just use a screwdriver or something to get in there and just loosen that up. That one's easy to bend. And then a needle nose pliers can also be helpful just to bend that out. So let's go ahead and just finagle that around a little bit and get that little cotter pin straight. Sometimes you can use a little WD-40 just to help everything slide around a little easier. You can also get a screwdriver in the top side of this and kind of pry it out a little bit. Don't want to hurt your bike. Got it out a little bit. Maybe I can get a grip on it now. There it goes. This is what I was kind of driving out. Oh, sorry. There you go. And now we'll just, I'm going to put a pin screwdriver in from this back side so when I pull this out, the spring doesn't go flying. Keep track of that washer. You'll use that later. So I'm just kind of tapping this pin out. As I push this through, and that'll also just keep hold of things. And now I'll just finish pulling out that pin the rest of the way. So we kind of drove that out with this. Okay, so I put this spring in here. There's a hole there for that to go into. Usually a catch on the frame somewhere. And then I put the pin back through, and now I'll put the washer on the back and the cotter pin. Now you have the washer through on this side, and we put the cotter pin through. And now I'm just going to rotate this around to where I can get at that cotter pin, the back side, so I can bend those tails over so that they don't, so the cotter pin doesn't come out. So I kind of open this up by putting a screwdriver in here and then bending that over. And now I can take a needle nose on the top side of that and on the tail, and I can just bend it down like that. I'm going to rotate this around so that I can do the same thing to the other end of the tail. And now I'm just going to bend this side over too by getting on here. And I can bend it back like that. Then I'll finish the job. And this is just me, but I like to rotate those tails to where they can't catch anything, like if I'm washing the bike. And so that's it. Cotter pin's on, washer's on. And there's the new Footpeg. And there's the old one. The old ones were okay, but these will just give a little wider supporting surface. And I think they'll feel good. They'll have a little bar in the middle as well instead of just an open gap. Now just do the other side. Here we are on the other side. The first trick is to just get this bent up. There's one side bent up using a needle nose pliers. Between a needle nose pliers and a screwdriver, you can usually get it. You take care so you don't scratch your bike. Okay, that's pretty straight. Let's flip that around, see if we can pull it out. I'll often put a little WD-40 on there just to help the whole process along. All right, now I've rotated around to the top, and with that WD-40 on there, it actually just pulls right out. Now we just remove our washer. Trying not to drop that in the skid plate. Removed our washer. I'll save that for later. We'll be using that. And then it's just a matter of, I like to use a screwdriver or a punch. And you push that in and then it takes that pin out. And then this lets you keep the orientation of that spring. And also makes it so the spring doesn't spring out and hit you in the face or the eye or something. Now we'll remove the foot peg and put the new one on. So here I am keeping the orientation of the spring, and now I'm going to go ahead and put our pin through. So I started this pin by pushing down on this, and you can hold that spring in where index is in there. Other bikes will have a different place, and then you just kind of wiggle all this as you push it through. Squirting some WD-40 on here really does help. Just makes it slippery. And then I just kind of wiggle it, and there it goes. It just pushes right in. Now, just like the other side, we'll put the washer on and the cotter pin through. I bent over one side with the needle nose pliers, and now I can bend over this other side with a screwdriver, or I could rotate it around and use the needle nose pliers as well. There it is. It's bent over and it's ready to go. Pretty easy. No reason not to try it yourself. Oh man, I just stood on these. These feel so much better to put your foot on, even though they're not much bigger per se than the OEM ones. $300 is a great bike, but Honda has to shave somewhere to keep that price point, and upgrading to those foot pegs, I think they're only $82 from Honda. Well worth it. It feels a lot better when I sit on the bike and put my foot on it compared to the old ones. Here are the old ones. These just, I don't know. They felt okay, but yeah, if you're on the fence, what a difference. Much better. So there you have it. Easy to do. And they look better too. They look like they should be on the bike, not those other ones that look kind of budget.